time you had people, so I'd say.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. I think we got another good show, great show for y'all coming up. This is our first live show. In a few days, right? Because I know, like last week, we did last Sunday. We didn't do Saturday.
No, we didn't do Mother's Day, did we?
Oh, that's why we missed last week, because that was Mother's Day. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it's my first one in weeks, so
it's
good to see you,
Clayton.
It's good to see you guys.
Man.
It's good to see you guys. Yeah.
Listen to the conversation and the input.
Man.
Let's get started, man, with the WNBA. So yesterday was the opening game for the Fever, right? Wasn't it? And they played the Chicago Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
did y'all get a chance to check that game out?
I didn't watch the game, but I saw some of the highlights and the controversy but I mean, just looking at the box score, boy, man, they put it on them.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
Yeah. A lot of people hyped up off the Fever performance, but they really didn't play well.
You don't think they played well?
They didn't play. They defensively they played well.
Mm-hmm.
They played well for maybe the second half, but that game could have been worse. They was missing wide open layups. I mean, Caitlin ended up with 10 assists. She could have had 17, 18 assists easy.
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed with the win that much because Chicago just didn't look like they had a flow to their offense. I don't know. This veteran guard they got, I think they should have gave Haley Van Lith a little bit more time. When she came in shooting, man, trying to, attack a little bit. But I wasn't. They did a good job keeping Chicago off the boards, even though Angels still had about 17 boards. But Indiana out-rebounded them. Their defense looks better. But I'm a reserve judgment. About 17 boards. But Indiana out-rebounded them. Their defense looks better.
So, look, let me ask you, that's me. I'm trying to I need to get off. My Bluetooth is hooked up to this. But look.
Okay.
Indiana, I mean, what y'all think about Chicago going with they changing Angel Reese's role, and they putting more emphasis on Cardosa.
But they didn't do that yesterday.
You don't think they did that?
No, I don't. Angel Reese definitely brought the ball up a few times. She had the ball in her hand on the perimeter, but she still was crashing the boards. She still was down low in the post. Yeah. I just didn't think they featured Cardosa very much, me personally.
I mean, looking at the box score, if Angel Reese is your top scorer, that means you're struggling.
Yeah,
because she's not as efficient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean that just means she's doing her job on the rebounding side.
Yeah.
But back to what Clayton observed, but that makes a lot of sense. If they didn't have any flow and they're not able to get the offense going, if Angel's your top scorer, that's definitely a symptom of that problem.
Mm-hmm. But I will give Indiana I will give their defense, because that was the point of emphasis going into this season with Stephanie White. They play a lot better defensively. I mean, they held them under 20 points for all 4 quarters. That's serious when you're able to do that, And I think the last quarter they only scored like 13. One quarter they only scored 15. The first quarter 17. So they did an outstanding job defensively, but Indiana didn't play well. They didn't play real good yet. They still gelling. I'm gonna wait and see. I want to see them next Saturday when they play the Liberty. That's what I'm gonna see.
Yeah. Speaking of the Liberty, who they beat? They beat
the Aces.
They beat the Aces.
Handily.
They ran through them.
Yes. And I'm gonna tell you, with that game, Jewel Lloyd really disappointed me. She couldn't hit nothing. She went 2 for 10 from the field.
Ooh.
So Yeah, that was huge. And I'm gonna say this, Natasha Cloud, that was a huge pickup for the Liberty. Huge.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
girl, she was like 3-4 steps ahead of Chelsea Gray most of the day. She was impeding Chelsea Gray from getting into her rhythm with the passes and everything. Chelsea scored some points and had some plays here and there, but Natasha Cloud came up with key stops, key steals. Yeah, she was all over the place. That was a hell of a pickup for them. Yeah. And I was disappointed in that girl, Marina Johansson, the one they brought back. I thought she was going to really come in and do something, but they didn't really need her, but she didn't do much.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's early, and I think a few, a lot of these teams are going to be gelling for a while, like the Aces, because their whole lineup, they have some new pieces in their lineup and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think they lost a lot. Kelsey Plum opened up. They lost Kelsey Plum.
Yeah.
Bruh, she opened up the other night. Who did they beat? Who did they play? I can't remember the team they played. Dog, she went 11 for 19 from the field. She scored 37 points, man. 6 and 6. Kelsey Plum went off.
Yeah.
She went off.
Was she a free agent or did they trade her?
They let her be free. She was a free agent.
Okay.
And she had no interest in re-signing.
That surprises me because I've always liked Kelsey Plum.
Oh yeah. I like Kelsey Plum too. I just think that I think she just wanted a change. You know what I mean? I think she just wanted out of Vegas, and she wanted a change.
Yeah. Because remember, she is a scorer.
Yeah.
She is a scorer.
She'll always be in the shadow in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Right.
But she went to work the other night, Friday night. I watched a little bit of that game too, man. But yeah, like I said, with the Aces, I mean, yeah, Asia did what Asia did. She put up 21 shots. She getting a lot of the bulk of the offense. She scored 30-something points. Great. But I'm going to tell you something. What's the girl? Jonquel Jones. He stopped in a crucial moment. Blocked her shit. Out-rebounded them. Jonquel Jones just quietly went about her business, man. 17 points, 10 boards. It's just Stewie was very efficient yesterday. He was extremely efficient. Yeah.
That's what Jonquel Jones do. You know what I mean? I think she fit that team perfectly anyway because she's not too, whatever they need, and she's solid. As a matter of fact, she's more than just solid. You know what I mean? So whatever they need, that's what she's gonna give them.
But I'm gonna say I'm gonna wait to see how this Natasha Cloud thing affects Sabrina a little bit. Sabrina shot poor yesterday. She had no impact on the game. She went like 2 for 10, something like that. I wasn't impressed with Sabrina at all yesterday. And again, it's just game one.
Right.
Yeah. I wasn't impressed with Sabrina at all. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that all gels out. But the only team I really was impressed with this weekend, because even Minnesota, I wasn't blown away because of who they was playing, Dallas. Fee did what she did, but Phoenix Mercury, they surprised the shit out of me.
Phoenix, I was surprised because I thought that the Phoenix Mercury, this was going to be like a rebuild year for them. You know what I mean? But
they beat the brakes off Seattle. The brakes off Seattle.
Yeah, they did. What was that score? That score was like 81-59.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 81-59.
That was almost a Knicks Celtics score.
Man.
But not quite.
Yeah.
Yep. Satu threw in 27. Alyssa Thomas did what she did. She threw in 25, but she was real efficient too. I think she went she shot well over 50% from the field. She had a hell of a game. So looked like Seattle might have fell off.
Yeah. Well, look, getting back to Sabrina Ionescu, right?
Yeah.
I think when a team can beat and be as effective as they was with Sabrina having like a subpar game. Like, what do y'all think about that? You know what I mean? I think that's not a bad
but they got to
shoot.
Yeah,
like,
they got a loaded team though. They got a loaded team. So when one component isn't firing on all, you know, they got plenty of power to take up the slack.
Right. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
with
that's
Todd
what I like
Cloud
about
and Jonquel Jones, and
Yeah.
obviously Stewie's going to do what Stewie does. And
Well, yeah, that was great. You know, that was great yesterday. Like I said, Natasha played a good game. They played great D and everything. But Sabrina, although they loaded, it's only a few people that had that clutch gene and that clutchness. They're gonna need Sabrina in big moments and big shots.
Sure.
Yeah, I think she'll come through though. I think Sabrina.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying she won't. I'm just saying I want to see how they mesh because she also needs to be in a rhythm to some degree too.
Yeah, as a shooter, she do.
Yeah.
But I think I think they're gonna be good though.
And it can be done, right? I mean, the analogy for me is as down as I was on the Timberwolves at the beginning of the season, they weren't really gelling and they weren't putting things together. In the last month of the season and the playoffs, look at them now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, you're right. There is a path to get to that. Yep. But like we were talking before we went live, you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like I was, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Clayton.
No, I was saying another team that really surprised me pleasantly was the Washington Mystics.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to say this straight up, man. Everything is page, the name recognition, but I think Sonia Citron, she has a legitimate shot of having the best rookie season this year. And if they don't let politics come into play, I'm going to keep watching. It was only been one game, but that girl missed one shot from the field, one shot and one free throw. She scored 19 points in her WNBA debut. And they look good. They took down the Atlanta Dream.
Yeah, they did. So, they beat the Dream.
Yes, Sonia Citron looks real good. She looks poor. She looks WNBA ready. So does Kiki. Kiki looks strong too. So I'm gonna keep an eye on Washington. I think they might be one of them teams that get in the playoffs.
Now, what do y'all think about Aaliyah Boston though? Like, Aaliyah Boston look like she's gonna be a problem. Yeah, somebody in the chat said something about Aaliyah Boston.
Yeah, AB, she started off slow yesterday, but when you got Natasha Howard around you, DeWanna Bonner around you, you got Caitlin doing what Caitlin do, Kelsey, you giving that space now. Yeah. So now AB can work.
Yeah.
She can go to work. Now, it took a minute because she was struggling. She was missing layups and everything. Then Caitlin grabbed her up and hugged her and said something to her. Came out second half, and then she just settled down, and then she went to work. So I'm hoping that she just needed to shake it, whatever it was going on early off. But she's got a legitimate shot to having a great season because of all the space that Indiana creates on the floor. They create a lot of space, you know, and they were still missing Sophie Cunningham. Right. I don't know if you guys saw them in the preseason, but Sophie.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
They're gonna be a hard team to stop. Everybody can score.
They made moves in the offseason with intention.
Yep.
They are building something very specific. Yeah.
And AB, she was on the boards. She had double-figure rebounds, I think like 13 boards. She had like 5 blocks. AB had a hell of a game, but it's good when you got those other guys.
Yeah.
You know, you can play a lot more freer.
Yeah. So VVS saying agree. Let me see, Leah Boston coming out of her shell.
Yes.
It's a rat. Yeah. And she put in that work. I don't know if y'all like she put in that work on the off season. You know, they were posting a lot of videos of her just putting in that work in the off season.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm glad she letting the ball go. An open shot. She's shooting. Look, hit or miss. You get that open shot, you got to take it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad she's taking that shot yesterday. She took a 3, she took middies, she taking her shot. I love seeing that in her. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
How
now
much? How
Go
much
ahead.
of the? Yeah, I was just going to ask you guys how much you think of this new offense that the Fever has is Stephanie Wright, Stephanie White doing her thing, right? Because we were a little last season we were a little soft on I already forgot the last head coach's name.
Christy Sides.
Christy Side. Yeah. So do you think Stephanie White's gonna be the coach that they need? Because she's got the experience, right? She's already won a championship, hasn't she?
I think she has.
Yeah.
But I think, didn't we say last year like that the situation with Christy Sides and Stephanie White is almost like Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr. You know what I mean? Like you know, to a certain extent, it could be like that, because I think now that they know what this team need to be successful, they was able to go out and get those pieces and put those pieces around Caitlin.
Yeah.
And and so now it's just a matter of this team just getting their chemistry together and gelling, and then everybody just recognizing what their roles are, basically for Indiana.
I do think Stephanie White great for them, especially from a defensive standpoint, because she seems like a player's coach, and she has a great rapport with those guys, so they willing to give it their all. I wouldn't compare Christy Sides to Mark Jackson, because I believe Mark Jackson kind of built Golden State into what they was going to be, and then Steve Kerr came in and took it over the top. I don't think Christy Sides built that team into anything. I think at one point she was trying to force Caitlin into being something she wasn't, and then she abandoned that plan and put that ball in that girl's hand and just let her go out and make plays. And I think they rode that wave of the relationship they built on the break and Caitlin's playmaking ability. I don't think Christy Side did much with that, but I definitely know Stephanie White, she has the whole team ear, and she's got Caitlin's ear. She got Caitlin out there picking up full court, really trying to play defense and stuff like that. So, no, I think Stephanie White is definitely good for this team. I don't think she should go too far away from, getting Caitlin off ball. But I definitely think you need to do that at times and stuff like that, Yeah.
So Tom said the same thing, what he like about Indiana is that their defense is going to be better, So it's a good sign we see. And so when you look at Indiana, and then you look at the Sky, the Fever. The Chicago Sky. And it seems like, all right, so Caitlin Clark is willing to, like different roles or whatever she need to do on the team for the team to be successful. Do y'all see that with like the Chicago, with those girls over there in Chicago? They just, to me, they just look like they was out of rhythm. Like they didn't have that same chemistry or that confidence or like pushing each other. You know what I mean? It just didn't look like that with Chicago.
Well, I'm gonna give Chicago some credit. In the preseason, they look pretty good, and I think they are better than they were last year. But here again, it's game one, and I also think that Indiana's defense is something else too. You got some long, athletic players on that team, so I think that was some of it. You know what I mean? And it was game one. But I do think they're willing to do it, because I think this coach is pushing Angel into a new role to some degree, and she seems like she's accepting it. So we gotta see what happens. But this guy's a first-time coach. He was an assistant with Becky Hammond. He's a first-time coach, so it's going to take some time. I just don't know if Chicago got enough arsenal weaponry to deal with the top teams in the league. But they are better. I will give them that. They are better.
I would agree with that. I think they upgraded talent from last year. But yeah, the front runners are definitely still out in front of them.
Yeah. And that's one thing about the W. Them first top 4 or 5 teams, it's a big gap between those teams and the rest of the league. It's a huge gap. Even though they say it's so much talent in the league, which it is, but as far as the gaps, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's really huge.
Yeah.
So my question is, who are your guys's? I mean, if we had that top tier, who's your top tier in the W right now?
Top tier what?
Teams, yeah. The Liberty, obviously.
Minnesota, the Liberty, the Aces,
Mystics.
Not yet. But the
Okay.
Mystics will be like the Fever were last year.
Okay.
Where
Okay.
they make a run at the playoffs and and cause a little disruption. But no, I would say the Liberty, the last two teams that played in the finals, the Lynx and the Liberty, the Aces, of course, and I've got Indiana in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got Phoenix trailing them a little bit.
Okay.
Atlanta. Don't sleep on them too much.
Okay.
Don't sleep on them too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. LA Sparks. I got to see them play somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got our tickets for the Fever coming to Minnesota.
Yeah.
In August. So my wife will be wearing the Caitlin Clark jersey, and I'll be wearing the Nafisa jersey.
Fee went off too. Fee went off, man. She went off against that Dallas team. But what y'all think? I know y'all see over top of my screen, Mike. Your headline is about the flagrant foul.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to get into that at all?
Yeah, I mean, now they call it a flagrant foul, but I keep going back and looking at it. I didn't think it was I thought it was a hard foul because when you don't want her to follow through and get that and have a chance for a 3-point play. You know what I mean? So she went down with her hand. So
but Caitlin's slick though. Caitlin's slick and she crafty. The referee got it right. And she did push Angel. Angel didn't fly. Because it's another angle out there floating from this way, looking down on the play. Right. So Caitlin went in with her right arm to stop the free. But then with her left arm, she pushed. She pushed Angel down. She did. She chopped it down.
Yeah, from that floor shot, all you see is that right hand.
Yep.
You don't see that left hand.
You don't see the left hand, but it's an angle behind it. And she pushed the shit out, Angel, which I don't have a problem with it because, at some point, Caitlin's got to, send a message back. Y'all, Kennedy hip checked the last year.
Yeah.
Nothing. Angel jumping up, clapping. Angel hit in her head. And one thing I like that Angel and Caitlin did, I like this. When she hit Caitlin in the head last year, Caitlin said it was a basketball play. She was going for the ball. This year, they asked Angel in the press conference. Angel said it was a basketball play. The ref got it right. Move on. So I like that they did that. But I'm going to say Angel definitely, I can't say she hate Caitlin or nothing like that, like everybody screaming. That's you don't know what's in that girl's heart and mind. But I will say there's a disdain for this young lady. Yeah. Because last year, Alyssa Thomas grabbed Angel around her neck and body slammed her. And she didn't get up to go after her, want to fight or anything. That little hard foul Caitlin did, granted, she pushed and everything. She jumps up and she wants to swing on this girl.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Well, I don't know. It's just like when Meta World Peace didn't go at Big Ben Wallace. He went and laid on that score. You know what I mean? It depends on who fouling you. You know what I mean? So
I don't think there's very many people that are going to get up and go after.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It depends on who give you that hard foul.
But I don't know. But Angel was barking that feet in Unravel, getting up in her face, pushing her. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I like the old. I mean, for me, that's old school 80s, 90s basketball, NBA basketball. And I respect the fact that they do all of that on the court, and after the game, it's like, no, that's just they're not hyping it up or making the drama outside the game, but they're playing hard in the game and they're not backing down. That I've said it before. That's what I missing in today's NBA game, right?
Mm-hmm.
That there's not as much. They took the physicality out of the game, and we just don't have the same amount of rivalries like we did back in the day. And I think the W's starting to build some of those rivalries, right? It may be one-sided right now between the Fever and the Sky, but I forget who put it in the chat, but people are watching. They want to see those games.
Yeah.
So they want to see the drama.
Let me ask y'all this then. Do y'all think that the NBA is going to lean back into that, or that's over with for them?
I don't know. So here's my thoughts on that, right? That's I've been complaining about that on this show for a while.
Yeah.
But in the playoffs, what has impressed me is the amount of times the refs have swallowed the whistle. They're getting physical and they're letting them play. And it's been at least before COVID and the bubble year that I've been this impressed with the playoffs.
Yeah. So and that's what I've been saying this for a few weeks too, that I like with this crop of new young ball players, I think that they is getting back to that. You see more dudes playing two ways, you know what I mean? Like you giving everything you got on the offensive end, and then you being stingy on defense. You see that with these young teams, even though Houston didn't go that far, but that's their style of play. OKC, that's their style of play. They want to play hard and physical at both ends. Indiana, they, you know what I mean? They like to be stingy and physical and up in your face, you know. So I think they're ushering out that softer style of play that the NBA, because it wasn't good for the NBA. It's not good for the fans. It wasn't good for the sponsors. They're not watching it. But like you said, Jim, everybody, you know, it's just different. It seems like it's going to be different.
Well, I'm a reserve judgment. I think the playoffs has brought that on, but I'm a reserve judgment for the regular season.
Yeah.
But I just, you know, but I just think that because, well, the playoffs have always been ramped up, except for recently. You know what I mean? But now, like the playoffs look like they should have been. They just look more competitive.
Yeah.
Yes, and it looked like these guys won. It looked like these guys won.
Yeah,
it looked like these guys are playing for a championship. It means something to them.
Yeah. So let's talk about the NBA playoffs though, and with the Knicks, man, y'all surprised? We said a few weeks ago that it was Boston's series to lose, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
No, I think if Jason Tatum hadn't got hurt, I think they still would have lost.
I do too. Yeah. But I don't think they lose, and I think New York is beating them.
Yeah. But going in, we were saying, well, you know, it's up to Boston. Yeah. You know, Boston, you know.
Yeah, I thought everybody was playing for second place. But I'm gonna tell you what we underestimated, man. Karl Anthony Towns' length was very disruptive on Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Very. Yes. And Porzingis, he a no-show.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought now, I mean, like Karl Anthony's Towns' length. I just think that Jason Tatum is so gifted. Like he could just, if he make up his mind that Karl Anthony Towns basically can't play him if Jason Tatum make up his mind that he don't want to be played. I just think that he just a no-show. He played down to his competition. I just think
all I know is what I witnessed, but I hear you.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I have witnessed Jason Tatum at times. You know, like sometimes he could be dominant, sometimes he's not dominant, and then you know.
But sometimes you can have a matchup that you never had before, and it gives you trouble. You know, a la Magic and the Bulls when Phil switched Scotty on Magic, then it gave him trouble. You know, so sometimes, Jason can be dominant, talented, and everything. But if you all of a sudden you get a matchup and you ain't ready for it, this guy's got length. He's tall. He can move his feet.
And
I think it gave him a little trouble.
Yeah, and he got some good help from Anunoby. I mean, OG OG
Yeah.
had a really good series.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Yeah.
And we can't say enough about Brunson.
Oh,
You
Yeah.
can't say enough about this guy.
that kid's nails. That kid is
Yeah.
absolute money.
You can't say
I
enough
thought-
about
He's got end of game focus and decision making that we haven't seen in a long time. Consistently,
Mhm.
right? Consistently, game after game, he's so reliable.
Mm-hmm. And can we we ran Thibodeau name through the mud. I know at least I did, but running them guys into the ground.
Yeah.
But he is a very defensive minded coach. And you got to give him some credit for their defensive tenacity against Boston.
Well, the Garden was absolutely electric, and the energy just fed those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I thought Boston was going to come out and give them a run and make it a game. And a few minutes in, it was like, man, they were just running
It was
away.
over with.
They lapped them.
Yeah.
Y'all surprised though that the defending champions went out like that though?
I mean, I just don't think they had mentally they could stand up to the wave, the pressure, the energy, the consistency. I mean, the Knicks, they just had whatever it was, whatever they were drinking, man, they were dialed in, they are energized, they were focused. I mean, it was just, you could see the attitude, right? They just the way they walked around.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Plus, I'm not surprised. I would have been surprised if it was another team that took them out. And but after New York went through that series with Detroit, that gave them their edge.
Yeah.
That gave them their grit, their mental toughness. That was a hard series for them. And I think it prepared them. Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought that going into that series, I just thought that the Boston defense was going to make Brunson work hard and wear him down, but that,
he's
another gear.
in the playoffs. He's almost up to 30 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's just lighting it up.
Yep.
He's got the hot hand, and you just ride that.
Yep.
So let me ask y'all this then: how do y'all think they're gonna fare against the Indiana Pacers?
I got that going 7 games.
Yeah. I
think that dude what's his name? Tyrese Halliburton. I think he's gonna be a problem for New York. Because big guards, he a big guard who could defend at one end and then he can score at the other end. So it'll be harder to place like Brunson on like Jason against Brunson against like what's the guy name? Pritchard. You know what I mean? That's not a problem for him. And when you put Brunson against any of the guards on the Celtics, because they are not big, long guards, then but you got Tyrese Halliburton, and then once you get past Tyrese, then you still have length and stuff that. So, yeah, I think it'll go 7 also.
Yeah, I think go ahead, Jim.
Right. No, you.
No, I think because Indiana eliminated the Knicks last year, I think it's the Knicks' turn, and also the Knicks got Cat now. That's a different element to their game.
Yeah. I think it just depends on how well the Pacers can defend, right?
Yeah.
Because the Knicks are going to come out and play both ways, and Indiana's got to make stops for them to keep in it, to stay in it. Yeah.
So look. Tom said, what he said, I don't have Indiana, New York 6 series going no more than 5 games. Indiana don't rely on that 3-pointer like the Celtics. The Celtics shot themselves out of the game. You know what? He bring up a good point. I was disappointed when they just leaned into those 3-pointers so much. In a few of those games, they had big leads, and they did shoot themselves out of the game.
They
and
very one-dimensional.
yeah. But I mean, and when they didn't have to, because you got Jaylen Brown, who liked going to the rim. You know, he played an aggressive style of basketball. Then you have, but that's why I just think, you know, this series right here with Indiana going to be different. I like the fact that they don't, like Tom say, they don't shoot, you know, a lot of 3-pointers. So the heat is going to be up.
Mm-hmm. But I still think they're going to go match for match. I do think they're going to trade games, though.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going 7. I think
But
it's going to go 7.
I'm interested to see. If Tom says it's not going 5, who does he give the edge to?
That's what I want to know too, Tom. I want to know, you giving it to, you saying Indiana going to take New York out in 5, or New York going to take Indiana out in 5? That's, you know, that's what I want to know.
I've been sleeping on Indiana, and they've been proving me wrong the whole time. So I don't know what to think of this. It's the immovable object against the unstoppable force, in my opinion. You know, because I think the Knicks are going to come in there and just try to do what they do offensively, and they've been clutch and they've been consistent. And Indiana, Indiana's been surprising everyone and being stingy on defense and getting it done just enough on offense to sneak the wins.
I think it's New York Knicks time. I think it's their time. I think they're gonna get to the finals. And I think Karl Anthony Towns is gonna be going up against Minnesota.
Yeah.
Now come on, man.
Yep. Yep.
Here, don't get me too excited.
That's what I believe. I believe that.
From your mouth, man.
I believe that. I believe Minnesota, they found what they needed. And this is the thing I love, right? Everybody's talking all this face of the league, who the face of the league. Now you guys are witnessing what I was saying all along. You don't anoint anybody the face of the league. That shit will show itself. I don't care what Ant-Man is saying out his mouth. He is emerging, whether he like it or not, because he won all the smoke. He's playing in big moment, and he has a charisma about him that has a star power and a draw. He's must-watch TV. He can say whatever he want out his mouth, and I liked his answer. I don't want to be the face of the league. I just want to hoop.
Yeah.
And that's what's making him the face of the league.
Yeah.
You watch. That kid is emerging, and it's beautiful to see. Stop trying to manufacture these stars, NBA. Let this shit happen organic.
Yeah.
This dude is with all the smoke against LeBron. He's with all the smoke against KD last year. You know, he said, I know LeBron was stronger than me, but I was pushing him. But I love this kid's charisma. Whatever you think about him in his personal life, I could care less. It ain't my business. But I love watching this kid play basketball. And he's got that charm, that boyish charm, charisma. You can't manufacture charisma. You can't. You absolutely cannot. Yeah.
I've tried.
Huh?
Yeah.
I've tried.
Yeah, you can't do it, Jim. But see, you have more charisma being your natural self. Yeah. That's where the charisma is. But man, I think New York, Minnesota, NBA Finals, Randall going against his old team.
Yeah.
Cat going against his old team. Then you're going to have games in the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. What's better than to have Ant-Man in Madison Square in the final? Come on, man. This shit made for television.
It is. It is. It is. Man, I would that would be the most excited I've been in sports in a long time.
Yeah. As great as Shea Gildress is, and he's great, he don't have Ant-Man's charisma, but he's great.
Yeah.
He don't.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
I agree with you. He definitely don't have that charisma. But why can't Brunson be like the face of the league though?
He don't have the charisma. He don't have the charisma. He's a great. Brunson is a hard hat, pale, hard worker, grinded out, and it's great to watch. I love this kid. But when you talk about charisma, that's something different. That's like Magic. He always had that big smile. come down. It's something different, man. It's nothing against Brunson's game, but that just don't. You got to ask the people, like, why the people ain't drawing to Brunson like that. It ain't got nothing to do with his game because he's a great player. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of those big shots he hit in the clutch. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was made for TV. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. He got something to him now because he clutch. He damn sure clutch.
Yeah. I don't know. We getting some people in here. We got at least 2 people, Patrick and Tom. They like the Pacers in this matchup.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I do think that Tyrese, that big guard Tyrese, man, just gonna pose an issue for New York that New York didn't see in this last series. Okay. And like you said, it probably will go 7, but Tom said it's gonna go 5.
I hear you.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, I can't say. I just know which one is going to be better television. I can't say, Indiana is a strong team. They very balanced. They're a good team. I just know what's better television. And, I don't necessarily always believe in letting it play out on the court. I don't always believe in that. Like last year, the Lynx and Liberty. Before that last game, I said to you, Mike, the refs is not going to let Minnesota win it, and they didn't. Mm-hmm. I do believe in politics now, and I do believe in business and what's the best thing for television. Mm-hmm. New York and Minnesota, the best thing for television. Indiana is great, but they boring to watch unless you're a basketball purist like Jim and yourself.
Yeah.
But other than that,
so y'all counting out Denver and OKC. Who y'all like in that matchup, Denver OKC?
I've said OKC from the jump, but I mean Denver's made it interesting, and the Joker's been the Joker, but he's had some good supporting cast to make this an interesting series. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be in Oklahoma, and I expect there to be a lot of that same energy that we saw in the Knicks Celtics game, and if those kids can feed off of that energy, I think they'll probably run away with it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just going with them because they're the home team, and they lost the last game.
Yeah,
that's
yep.
Yeah, I'm going with OKC also because of the home team advantage. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then whoever, and it doesn't matter who wins, Minnesota's going to be traveling to the winner, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. They're traveling still game 1. That's what they do.
And so y'all thinking that Minnesota can beat either one of those teams, Denver or OKC.
Man, I do, because I'm a homer, A, and B, they just been playing lights out as a team. Mm-hmm. They've really been playing well as a group. The other been saying it for weeks and weeks. The McDaniels and Randall and Naz Reid, and I mean everyone's stepping up.
Yes,
and supporting. Even Rudy, he had that one game where he had almost 30 points.
I mean, but that was because the Lakers ain't got no center.
But even for Rudy, that's
that's a lot. But I mean, he was getting dunks. I mean, we said that when they didn't get a center, we said, I thought that was going to hurt LA. They ain't got no center. Yeah. I didn't think Rudy Gobert would be the guy to exploit it.
Yeah,
but he did.
Yeah, Rudy went off.
Yeah, he went off, man.
Rudy went off.
They just lobbing it in there to him, man.
It was just too easy, though. It was really just too easy.
Yeah.
Yep. But
the way Randall's been playing, man, he's on a mission.
Yes, he's on a mission.
He's on a mission.
Yep. And he's really been playing his ass off, man.
Yeah.
So I like Minnesota. Must see TV.
Yeah, but all right. So we can't count the Joker out, though, man. We just can't count that Joker.
I love him.
Yeah.
But it ain't about him. You know what I'm saying? It's just not about him, Mike.
Yeah, yeah.
You got 4 other players. You got 11 other players on that team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Tom, I agree. I like Rick Carlisle too as a coach. I think Rick Carlisle is just, he kind of fly under the radar a lot too. You know what I mean? I think Rick Carlisle, he has success, you know, every way he coached that. So
Yeah, he's a great coach.
yeah, yeah.
And Indiana is a great team. They're a great team. I'm not talking about their team per se not being great. I just think it's New York's time. New York got a chip on their shoulder. They got bumped out by this team last year, and they've added somebody different. And I just think it's time for them. That's all. It's not to knock Indiana. Indiana is a legit team. They got great team chemistry, great balance. They play good D. Hollenberg will shoot the 3 when he need it. Yeah. He'll drive to the basket in clutch time. They got him to close out games. He distributes the ball well. They good. They great. But I'm just thinking it's New York time, man.
And then wasn't Tyrese Halliburton ranked one of the most overrated players in the league? He was ranked.
And that was some bullshit. Yeah. That was some bullshit. Yeah.
Ranked one of the most overrated.
I don't think he overrated at all.
That was the players drinking haterade.
Yep. Did y'all hear what Isaiah said about him?
No, what Isaiah said about
Tyrese Halliburton?
No.
He said Tyrese Halliburton being influenced by Caitlin. As he watched the game the other day, he said he could see signs of Caitlin game in his. That's the highest compliment when you get a seat.
Yeah.
Talking about this female and talk about the dude getting influenced by the female. Shout out to her, man. That's all I gotta say. That was powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah, he said that. But back to Tyrese, man. He's solid, man. He's a solid player. Got nice length, size. Do everything with the basketball.
Yeah.
Yep. He can do everything with the basketball. So that's gonna be a day. Believe it or not, even though Indiana don't have a lot of name recognition, that's gonna be a fun series to watch. Because I do believe they're gonna trade games. I think they're gonna trade blows. Yep. And the next series too, whoever make it to the Western Conference Finals, them teams gonna trade blows. You're gonna have 2 conference finals that's gonna be great because them guys gonna trade blows. Yeah.
Hey, man.
Hey, what's up, gentlemen? What's
good?
Up, man?
I thought you was on you was out at Pebble Beach somewhere on the lake.
No, that was last weekend, sir. That was last weekend.
Yeah.
Out there golfing my brains out, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. Because I mean, it is nice outside.
Oh yeah, it's definitely nice over here in Baltimore today.
Yeah, man. I thought you was gonna be out there on the links, man. So we talking about who you liking this next matchup coming up with Indiana and who we sent was it New York, Indiana, right?
Hey, to be truthful, if you watch Indiana play, man, Indiana is the truth.
Yeah.
And if New York underestimates Indiana, Indiana's going to the finals.
Yeah.
That's Indiana is the truth, man. I mean, they're playing solid all around good basketball right now.
Yes.
So,
but they did beat a Cleveland team that always fold when they get to this point in the season.
But yeah, you're right about that. But let's look at the factors now. Cleveland dominated through the whole regular season.
They did that before.
When?
Last year. I think it was right behind Boston last year.
Yeah, but they were number 2 last year though. Boston was
but
number
I'm just saying they outstanding in the right. I'm just saying Indiana is playing great basketball. I'm just saying though, they beat Cleveland.
Indiana did beat the Knicks last year.
Yep, that's why I'm giving it to the Knicks this year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling y'all, like the thing is, all right. So Donovan Mitchell is like 6'2", 6'3", and I'm just telling you, them undersized guards, when it comes to that level of defense, it's just harder for them to score the deeper they get into the playoffs, and that's why I think Brunson going up against Halliburton is just going to be it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Brunson to score.
What did Brunson do to Indiana last year? Although Indiana bumped him, what did Brunson do?
Yeah, but I mean, you could make a player he was one-dimensional though. You know what I mean? He didn't do everything.
What did Brunson do? He wasn't one-dimensional. He didn't have no scoring help. This year he got Cat that can put in 20. Brunson still showed up.
Yeah, but hold on. We can't talk about Cat like he's a great contributor right now. Cat comes to play some games, and in some games Cat don't come to play at all.
Listen, all I know
like
is
the one game that Boston won after Tatum went down, Cat disappeared.
Okay.
If he was a superhero, his name would be Vanishing Man.
I didn't call him a superhero.
Okay.
I didn't call him. You said Vanish Man?
Yeah.
Listen, I agree with that. That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is he's giving them added scoring, and that's a big help.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
That's true. But to beat Indiana, you got to play defense too. You can drop 40, you can drop 20, but if they drop at 21, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what the Knicks do. The Knicks play defense.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, let's put reality where reality needs to go. Okay, if Tatum plays, we talking a different series right now. Okay,
I'm not sure.
Let's not boost that up because the Knicks were up. Because that last game Tatum was playing, he was giving them numbers, and New York ain't know what to do with it.
But like I said to the guys before you came on, Cat's length at times when they put Cat on Tatum, it disrupted Tatum. The New York Knicks have a different dynamic on their team. I'm not saying Cat's a superstar, but Thibodeau is using this guy in certain places the right way.
Yeah, he's averaging a double-double. He's averaging a double-double in the.
Listen, that's true, but we're talking playoff Cat. The reason he's with the Knicks because playoff Cat couldn't make it happen in Minnesota. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's the reason he's with the Knicks. Okay. So we just got to see. I mean, Indiana's going to give the Knicks trouble anyway. But like Mike was saying, they're large in that backcourt. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They got the players in that backcourt.
I'm not saying. What did that series go last year? 7 games?
And who won it?
I'm not saying it went 7 games, right?
It went 7 games. Yep.
Okay.
And who won it?
Yeah, Indiana won. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying this is a different Knicks team. That's all I'm saying.
We say it's a different Knicks team, okay?
Who is
it, but I'm gonna tell you 2 things that prove that they are their regular season record, which they were better last year than they were this year in the regular season, and the contribution that Wichicom has to make now, going both ways. Brunson has to do a lot now for that Knicks team just to do what they need to do.
Well, I'm gonna add this to the regular season record. They add new pieces, and it takes time to gel. So I didn't expect the regular season record to be stellar. But now they found their groove, they found their chemistry, and they know how to play with each other.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Listen,
I'm just saying this. It looks like to me the Knicks is taking advantage of the situation what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to take advantage of every situation they're supposed to do.
Okay.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is they're going into a team that is punching all cylinders like they're punching.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Indiana. Listen, I'm a fan of Indiana. I'm a fan of their coach. I'm a fan of them. I'm just saying it just feels like it's the Knicks' time. That's all.
Yeah. Who was the higher seed last year? Who was the higher seed last year?
I don't recall who was the highest.
I don't remember who the highest seed was last year either.
I think Indiana may have been.
I think Indiana may have been the highest seed last year.
So the Knicks lost Game 7 in Indiana.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think Indiana closed them out in the Garden. No.
If it goes to Game 7 in the Garden, that place is going. That place is going electric.
Yes.
Hey,
I think it's going to be a fun series. I do.
Yeah, the NBA needs it. So whichever way you look at it, it's going to be a fun series.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. All right.
So,
Mike, I got to ask you a question. I got to ask you a question. Somebody brought something up to my attention, man. And you the perfect person to ask about this, man. Between Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, who you think had the better career? I'm not asking who was the best, who you think was the better player. I'm asking the question, who you think had the better career?
Mike had the better career.
And why would you say that?
And I'm just think that Mike was just more of a dynamic ball player.
Why would you say because you think he was a dynamic player? I said the same thing to a friend of mine. You know what my friend said? If you go back and look at the stats, Scottie Pippen had better stats than Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
What stats he looking at?
Championships. Okay.
How many championships Scottie got?
Huh?
How many
So both
championships
of them have the
Scottie
same
got?
amount of championships.
Okay.
But Scottie has gone to the conference finals more than Jordan has.
Okay, but what stats are we looking at? You talking about what the team did? What stats do Scottie have that's better than Michael's?
That's what I'm saying. He has more conference finals than Michael Jordan has.
Well, that's not a stat.
It is a stat.
No, it's not. That's not a stat. That's a team, but that's just how far his team went. I ain't know. You said which one had a better career?
Clay, hold on, Clay. How is that a stat for Jordan, but not a stat for nobody else?
It's not a stat for Jordan.
So then how can Jordan be the greatest player alive? Because Jordan don't own he's not at the top of no stat.
He is the top of some stats. We talked about this before.
He ain't the top
scoring average. He got the highest career scoring average in the history of the NBA.
All right, he doesn't have the most
career
points.
Scoring average.
He doesn't have the most blocks. He doesn't have the most steals. He doesn't have the most assists.
No, he don't.
Well, okay.
But he's got how many all defensive teams? He's got defensive player of the year. He's got MVP.
Scottie has just as many.
Just as many what?
Scottie has all defensive teams.
Not as many as Mike.
Look it up.
Look it up.
Let me tell you. The dude put me down with this. That's why I had to ask Mike. I'm like,
Mike was making all defensive teams when Scottie first got there and was a scrub. He don't have more all defensive.
And Scottie was making all defensive teams when Jordan left, and after Jordan went to the Wizards.
Listen, I'm not going to take your word. But if you look it up and tell me I'm wrong, I'll make sense.
I'm just saying when the gentleman brought to my attention, and I had to think about it like, well,
this is I'm gonna end it
that way.
I'm gonna give you this caveat. Scottie don't have a better career than Mike because Scottie's career playoff average drops when he gets to the playoffs as opposed to the regular season, while Michael's increases.
But who went to the playoffs more? Who went to the playoffs more though? Don't forget about Jordan's first 5 years. Everybody
went to the playoffs.
About Jordan's first 5 years now.
He went to the playoffs.
Yeah, he went to the playoffs.
He ain't go playoffs all his first 5 years.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not.
Michael Jordan. Let me share this with you.
63. That was a playoff series.
Yeah, that was his second year. Michael Jordan went to the playoffs every year he was with the Bulls.
He didn't go his first year. I know that's for a fact.
When he broke his foot, they was in the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay.
The first game.
I just wanted to bring that.
Because he came back a few games before the playoffs started, and that's the game. That's the year he hit 63 against Boston.
Okay.
I just wanted to bring that fact out to see what make Mike smile real quick.
Oh, okay.
Hey, speaking of Mike, y'all know Mike is coming back to NBC. Not back, but he coming to NBC, man. And so, what's y'all take on that?
So just to tie it in a bow, MJ 9, all defensive first team, Scottie 8.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There you go.
I'm just, like I said, I'm just telling you what the situation is. It don't look like we talking much Jordan without Scottie.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
I disagree with that.
It's like Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward. So I'm looking forward to seeing MJ give opinions. And I want to, because he's always been very standoffish ever since he was in the league. He didn't say much in the media. He didn't talk politics. He didn't, not that I want him to talk politics, but he was just very sheltered in any of his opinions.
Yeah, he was measured.
I want to see him open up. I want to
So
see.
So do you think that's the power move for the NBA? Now it's not the NBA, it's NBC, right?
Yeah,
it's NBC that's paying him, not the NBA.
Yeah, yeah.
So you think this is just a power move or a stunt, or you think Jordan's going to be really, really active in this situation?
I think he's going to be limited. Move. I think it's because he's a special contributor.
Yeah,
he's not going to be regular. I think it's more of a stunt than anything else.
Because
until they define that role, I have no opinion on it.
Yeah, see, I
have no idea what no special contributor is.
Yeah, I thought it was from the NBA that was hiring him to do it for NBC, and I'm thinking in my head like, okay, maybe this is the opportunity for him to get into the front office of the NBA. That's what I was thinking at first, for him to start. Okay, now let me think about running the league further down the line or something like that. But this is an NBC move that I just realized. Right. So it's like, what will Jordan really get out of this doing that? What is the end game for this?
The first thing that popped in my mind, I couldn't understand it, because if he's worth all the money that they say he's worth, right? I don't understand the attraction to this particular position unless some of those reports about his money may not be true. I don't know. I don't understand it, to be honest with you.
And I have the same research that you're thinking about. Like, what is the end game for Jordan on this?
Yeah, I don't understand.
I think it's with I don't know if money is play a part in it for Mike, but I think that it's the NBA and the sponsors and everybody is trying to reshape the narrative of the NBA. Ratings are down. The stock that player, when you have like the player, player empowerment era, those guys who are part of that player empowerment are on their way out. So you see a new crop of ball players are coming in. Their play style is different. So when you have Mike speaking about the game, the way the game used to be played, and Mike don't even have to criticize like the guys who are going out, and that's not going to be like part of. But I think Mike is just coming back like to usher in a new era of basketball. I just think that player empowerment, dudes shifting around from team to team, chasing championships. I think all that stuff is like going by the wayside, because it didn't benefit nobody, except for a few players.
So you think Mike talking about the sport casually as a special contributor will change the mentality of players?
No, I think Mike is going to be, he's part of a larger plan to help usher in that. It's not just like somebody is going to, because this the thing, LeBron James's career is almost over with. So LeBron James, in order for LeBron James to stay relevant, he'd probably have to, he going to go on to some podcasts and he going to give his, his spill. But whatever he say on one thing, on a topic, is going to be contradicted by what Mike says. So that's going to kind of go up against like LeBron can't come out there on one hand and say, well, it's only a game. It's like there are 8 other players on the court beside myself. The way Mike talk about the basketball game, the sport, is just going to contradict anything that LeBron James might say after his career is over with, without even really just going directly at him.
So and I got another question. So you think them two contradicting each other's opinion and narrative around the game is going to usher in a new brand of basketball?
It's going to help. That's what I'm saying. Like, along with these guys who are playing that style of basketball, it's about controlling the narrative. Throughout LeBron James's career, he has controlled the narrative,
right,
over himself. Regarding himself.
Not just the narrative for himself, but the league as a whole. Because you can't say that he's the face of the league and he controlled the narrative and then just say, well, it's just about LeBron James.
But Jordan Jordan wouldn't be the best person to do that though, because Jordan comes from an era of us. If
Right.
you're trying to get in, if you're trying to usher in a new era of basketball, you don't go to the era that we come from with a commentator like Michael, because the new era doesn't relate to Michael. They relate to LeBron. That's why
That's
we have the
exactly,
conversation
man, that's
between
exactly
Jordan and
who you
LeBron.
go to. That's exactly who you go to, because you go to somebody who has done it before. You wouldn't go
No,
to
but
you wouldn't go to Gilchrist
yeah,
because he's young.
the
You wouldn't go to Anthony Edwards because he's young. You know, that's
but you
exactly who
wouldn't.
you go to.
But that generation, if you're trying to usher in a new generation, get new viewers to get your viewership up, okay, you don't go to the people that's already watching the game. We watch the game to compare what we used to see to what we see now. The new fans and the new audience that they're trying to attract does not watch the game to compare it. They watch the game for the thrill of it and how it's played now. That's why Steph Curry is so important, because they're shooting. Everybody shoots now.
That's what I
Okay.
was going to say.
So you go to Jordan, and Jordan can explain the dunk, but how can Jordan explain that three? How can Jordan relate to that conversation with the
strategy of the game,
I
though,
think,
man?
yeah.
You seeing a lot more strategy being played in the
Mm.
like in these playoffs. It's about strategy and it's
No,
about matchups.
come on now.
LeBron
Back
James has
then,
been playing.
when we watched basketball, it was strategy. Pick and
Right.
rolls, 3 and 4 passes before you take a shot. Now it's a dribble, shoot.
Yeah, they're
It's
going
a
away
pick
from
and
that,
shoot.
though, man.
Huh?
Well,
I think they're going away from that. It's more about strategy now. You watch these teams playing now.
There's no way they're
about
going away
strategy.
from that when you got your centers shooting threes, and if they can't shoot them, they moving them.
well, Mike,
What team besides the Joker team is got your center shooting a three?
No, on the Celtics last year, they're shooting threes.
That's why I said that era of basketball is going out. It's going out. These young teams is not they playing at both ends.
I'll say this, Mike. The only way, if it's part of the plan to usher in a new style of basketball, somehow the media that's covering the game has to start celebrating something else. But as long as the guys that's playing on the floor playing a certain way, and that's what's being highlighted, kids, the younger generations coming up, are patterning their game behind the game that's being played.
Yeah.
So somehow the game on the floor has to change to usher in something new. And the media has to assist in that. You know what I'm saying? In terms of constantly celebrating that. But I can't say that the game has to change on the floor to usher in a new game. That's just what I think.
Yeah, and it is changing on the floor. That's why I said you got these new kids. They playing at both. They playing at both ends. When you got Luka just played from 3-point line to 3-point line. He'll shoot a three at one end, and so
and guess what, Mike?
Guys are playing,
and he's one of your biggest stars in the league. So you got kids mimicking Luka.
Yeah, but you continue to mimic Luka, but his style is. If he was going to be the future of the league, then they wouldn't have ran him out of the Mavericks off that team.
I don't know, because you still gotta wait to see what's going to happen with the Lakers.
Like somebody 25 years old, the face of the league, like a team just walk away from him.
Well, there's a lot of conspiracy floating out there now that they were supposed to get the number one pick. I don't know.
I mean, listen, we've seen it happen before. We've seen, they ran away from Shaq. Orlando ran away from Shaq. Philly ran away from Barkley. Okay, it has happened where the superstar comes in, and on that 5th year, the team get rid of him. It has happened in history.
Yeah, Barkley wasn't in his prime though when he left
Philly. You said Barkley wasn't in his prime for the Philly? Come on. Wait, as soon as he went to Phoenix, they went to the championship.
When he went where?
To Phoenix, the championship.
I mean, they had more talent, and Barkley, they left there because they couldn't put a team around Barkley that would get him deep into the playoffs. And Barkley wanted out of there.
It's the same thing. The same thing he did with Shaq. Shaq wanted out.
Right.
Mike, you said something earlier about Boston shot themselves out of the game shooting all them threes. And all season long, the complaint about the league has been guys are just shooting too many threes. The 3-point shot has messed the game up. That's how these kids are playing now. Even Ant Edwards now this year decided to take a lot of threes. He's leading the league in 3-point field goal percentage. So that's the state of the game. So that has to change on the floor to usher in something different. But right now, that's not changing. Seems like to me these guys are leaning more into the three than ever before.
Now the teams, like even Ant-Man is more selective about when he shoots his threes. He was more liberal with that three throughout the season, but now in the playoffs, he's more selective and he's going to the hole a lot more than he did in the during the regular season.
But I'm just saying the 3-point shot is a major emphasis for the whole league still.
I don't think the 3-point shot is going nowhere, but I think that once teams like you got Shea Alexander, he has a good mid-range. I mean, these kids, they playing at all three levels, and they're being more selective when they shoot those threes. But you're not gonna have people like James Harden who can shoot 33, shoot 13 for 30 in a playoff game. That's not gonna be the future of the league.
Bro, you got Julius Randle shooting threes. You got Naz Reid shooting threes. You got you got teams with starting five. Everybody's shooting threes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But you still gonna have I think it's gonna be a little bit more different. They're gonna have to be a little bit more selective. That mid-range shot is coming back.
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying, but it ain't back yet. That's all I'm saying. So I'm just saying to usher in a new style of basketball, the play on the floor has to change.
I'll say this
and be celebrated.
I'll say this: I don't think I don't attribute to intelligence and conspiracy what I can attribute to incompetency. And I just think the NBA is still struggling to figure out how to make this product better. And if they are opening their eyes, so I don't think MJ coming back is part of any big scheme to change anything. But our complaints that we've talked about in this forum for a long time is how does the league do what it can do to get viewership and the casual fan back into it like they did a long time ago. And we've talked about how the change in the rules to open things up and to all the analytics that are pushing the 3-point and the inside game, which has just obliterated the mid jumper. They're going to have to. The only way they can usher in a new style of play is by rule changes. I don't think any external forces other than that can change what the product that we have.
So that's
why I've said when they've swallowed the whistles in the playoffs, it's to me that is more exciting play because it's physical and it's not a bunch of stops in play. It's more free flowing. It's physical and I like it.
And you have more theater. You have more theater when it comes to that.
Yes.
And I'm going to say this. I think NBC bringing Mike on is just strictly about ratings. Yeah. Because that's another thing that's been down with the NBA is ratings.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, why the ratings have been down because of the product on the court, right?
It has been, but I know Michael Jordan, anytime you get Michael Jordan on TV, people going to watch.
So
he ain't gotta be. He don't have to be playing basketball.
I don't care. I don't care what the dish is you set in front of me. If you sprinkle bacon on it, I'm gonna like it.
Yeah, it's definitely strategic. I think just like when they did that documentary, when that documentary came out, it was through the roof. You know what I mean? Even though it was during COVID and people didn't have a lot of things to other things to watch. But the ratings for that documentary was through the roof.
He could have dropped it this year and it did the same thing because it's Michael Jordan.
I would believe you. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So why not bring Michael Jordan back if you know that that's the effect that Michael Jordan is going to have?
Oh yeah, I'm not disagreeing with it.
But you gotta understand this though. You're talking short-term effects. What is the long-term value?
I don't know. I mean,
Right.
I just said to usher in and to tell and to explain to people like the way it's the same thing as if you listen to Tom Brady talk about football. You know what I mean? Like Tom Brady has that cachet because Tom Brady, what he won like 7 Super Bowls. People want to hear Tom Brady talk about football.
Yeah.
He's horrible. He's horrible on TV.
He is, but he is Tom Brady though. He's
but he's not moving the needle. He's not moving the needle in viewership at all.
Well,
doing that job.
People who like football and football don't need the same. They not on life support like basketball.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they don't need Tom Brady to be, you know,
But
so you can get away with having somebody on there who's just an entertainer like Stephen A. Smith, you know, give you all of these different, you know.
Listen, like they were saying to me, like they said, that Charles Barkley crew was just so great at TNT. They should have been bought over. Okay.
Yeah.
At NBC, ESPN, they should have bought the whole team over. They didn't do that because those guys interacted. They were old school players, but they had that thought and they could connect with the new school viewers. That's why TNT,
I thought they all they licensing them. They're gonna be a part of it.
No, all of them didn't come over.
I think they did.
No.
Because Charles Barkley went on a rant talking about ESPN ain't gonna be telling me what to say and do.
Yeah, but I don't think Kenny's coming over.
And all of them didn't come over. I don't know if Shaq came over either.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, all of them didn't come over.
Okay.
But it's the same type of. You gotta have somebody. Now Jordan Mike can go in there and kill it like Jordan does.
Yeah.
All right. But the crazy part is I want to know the value of it because if Jordan does come over there and kill it this year, and then next year he's not around anymore, what does how does NBC build off of that?
I'm telling you, it's not about just like what Tom just said. The only reason why he believes Jordan is coming over is to poke holes in LeBron James.
Listen, it has nothing to do with LeBron James.
It
has nothing to do with LeBron James. Mike, you and Tom are doing a lot of LeBron hating. Trust me, it has nothing to do with LeBron James, man.
I'm gonna tell you why I do.
Because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. When LeBron retires, everybody's gonna be interested in getting LeBron to help them with their viewerships. I'm gonna tell you, that's just the way it's gonna be.
LeBron James is not good for basketball.
Dude, he changed basketball.
And not in a good way. Man, look.
We didn't change that. We didn't change that.
Let me make more now than they have ever been making.
Let me make this point before you say something. The ratings have gone down. Then when you talk about sponsorships and stuff like that affects their bottom line. So when you see Michael Jordan do he put his show out there and then everything go up, and you got a guy who haven't played basketball when he leaving 02, 03, and then as soon as they announced that this dude is coming back, you see the uproar that started. They just announced that he just going to be a special contributor, meaning he probably won't be on there frequently. He probably going to be on there a couple times, but over 50%, almost 50% of the ratings is down. That's not good for basketball. That's not good for the sponsors. If you're Nike, do you want that? Would you pay for that if you're Nike?
You're talking like LeBron is in his early 20s.
I don't care.
He's 40 years old. You think he's supposed to keep carrying the league on his back in his 40s?
Mike's 63. Michael Jordan is 60-something years old.
He knows for basketball in 20 years.
Right. And his merch. Is my speaker gone down? Can y'all still hear me?
I can hear you when y'all talk separately.
You listen. You talking about his Jordans that he keep bringing back and forth every year? Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking
not
about
new merch, but the '93 reactive Jordan. Oh, come on, Mike.
No. Michael Jordan is good for basketball.
Love Michael Jordan. I am a Michael Jordan fan. Okay. But you sound like right now as when my father and I spoke with Michael Jordan, he said Michael Jordan ain't shit because there's a dude named in Boston that kills everything Michael Jordan's been doing, trying to do, and will ever do. That's what you're sounding like right now. You sound like the old man that's seen your superstar play and can't nobody come before him or come after him after that.
Hey,
let's give it some credit,
man. I do want to push back on something, man. LeBron didn't change basketball. Steph Curry did.
Well,
LeBron just carried it on from where Kobe and Mike left it. But I think Steph Curry
listen. He didn't have to change basketball.
I know. I was just pushing back on that statement.
He just had to be the best at what he does.
Yeah. I'm not taking off from it. Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm just saying Steph really changed the game. You know, and
I mean, this era. I mean, I can agree with Steph changed the game for this era, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like,
I think NBC got bigger fish to fry than going after LeBron or trying to shoot holes in any kind of narratives on LeBron. NBC's got an investment and they're trying to get a return on that investment. Yeah. And Michael Jordan is money. He's ratings, he's TV, he has a mystique about him. People tune in, even if you're just gonna hear him say boo boo gaga shit, balls, you know, whatever. People gonna tune in because it's Mike. So I think initially it's just to try to get a big bang for your buck out the gate until other things settle. I think NBC investing back into the NBA at this point is perfect timing because now I think you have young stars emerging. And I think the game is getting ready to have a makeover because these young stars are they're good to watch and it's must-see TV like your Aunt Edwards and kids like that.
That's all I'm saying. And you are not going to be seeing franchise ball players like going from 2 and 3 different teams like LeBron and KD did throughout their era. They're not going to imitate that. It didn't work well for them. It didn't work for the NBA. And you're not going to see that.
What? Why do you mean it didn't work well with LeBron?
It didn't.
I think it did. LeBron got what he wanted. Mike, however way you feel about LeBron, he got what he wanted out of the league for the most part. Yeah. No, he didn't his ultimate goal to erase Mike. No, he didn't do that. But he's got billions of dollars. He's got media companies. He's got championships. He's got the scoring record. Look, it worked out for LeBron, technically.
Yeah. If LeBron worked for you and then you go holler, it worked out for LeBron, and then your ratings go down.
Well, listen, Mike, the ratings going down has nothing to do with
your ratings go down. You can't even sell LeBron tennis shoes.
You move
LeBron is 40 years old. Those ratings going down.
Mike 60.
Yeah, but it may not. Listen,
down
I think the ratings went down because of the change Steph Curry ushered in, not LeBron.
Let me tell you, the ratings gone down because of 2 reasons. One, because the NBA has neglected their superstars. Okay, they've neglected to put anybody forward in the NBA that these kids can look in front of. So they have. So you're still looking at a 40-year-old Jordan, and we're still talking about him, but he's 40 years old playing in the league. And 2, like Clayton said, the game has changed to where Steph Curry turned it into a shooter's gallery. It's a shooting gallery, and a lot of people love the vision of the dunk. A lot of people love the vision of getting dunked on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now they got posters with somebody spotting up shooting threes. Yeah. I had a shooter poster in my room with somebody shooting a 3. It was always somebody getting dunked on. That doesn't happen in the NBA a lot now, no more. And that has nothing to do with LeBron.
Hey, man, we're not still talking about Mike because the league is neglecting the new stars. We're talking about Mike because Mike was a phenomenon.
No, I'm saying we're talking about the decline in viewership. That's what I'm talking about. You bring Mike back to help that happen. And my point is, I would have brought him back as a color commentator, like you do special games. I mean, that
He gonna
just
be
special consulting. You know what that's going to do with that special consulting? People are going to turn into these regular season games to see if Mike is going to speak.
Yeah.
And then eventually he may speak 1 out of every 10 games. But then when it goes down and you get into those 70 and 80 games, and people are just going to start turning around again, like, okay, they just did it because they put Mike out there just because.
Wait and see what NBA's plan is. We don't even know what their plan
and that's
is.
what I'm trying to say. Exactly.
So look,
I
let
want
me
to see what
say
the
this.
plan is.
Let me say
Jim was
this.
gonna say something.
Go, what you say, Jim?
All I was going to say was I agree that the Steph era has and he maximized the era with the way he played. But for me, it was Stern making those rule changes for the on the defense, trying to open up the floor and all those things that now analytically the teams are the way they score the most points are the 3-pointers and inside play.
Let me ask you this, Jim. Then, if the rule changes made it open up the floor, wouldn't you think there'd be more guys driving the lane and dunking and getting the highlights as opposed to going to the 3 points?
But I think that's what the play is trying to do, right? So the defenses are trying to shut down those. How do you open those lanes up? You've got to pass the ball around and get that corner 3. That's what everybody's trying to do. And that's why you're seeing a lot of the outside game try to open up those lanes.
And Jim, you're right about that. Because let's remember now,
the freedom of movement rules have very much taken the physicality out of the game.
Right. So to me, it would be less threes. To me, it would be less threes getting shot. But Steph Curry did something that revolutionized it. So you can open up the floor all day. You're giving these guys driving lanes, but they are settling for the three.
But Clayton, let's remember this though, because this is what we forgetting. In the Michael Jordan era, you could not play zone defense.
Right.
Okay. Right. You could not play zone defense in that era. Okay. Now in this era, you can play zone defense. Yep. So what did that accomplish is if they can stand right in that position and collapse if you go into those lanes. That's why the 3-pointers. But to Jim's point, when they changed the rules to fit the European players to get them to come over here, that Euro step has always been a travel in the NBA since I've known how to play basketball. But now the Euro step is actually accepted and not called the travel. Okay. So and then these big fellas coming over there shooting, that's an era from Europe. That's not that doesn't come from us. Our big men is traditional, get in the box out, get the pass, play inside outside game, and that's our big men. But these European big guys face the basket, shoot the ball, and they were more athletic and talented to what teams were looking for. So that's when that pivot really came. And everybody, look, if Steph Curry can shoot these threes, and we can get a whole bunch of 3 shooters at all 5 positions, we'd be dangerous because everybody's playing zone. No one can man up now because of the athletic skills that these new players are bringing.
But it also stretches the floor and it opens up space because teams ain't just sitting in zones. They playing from time to time. But you're right. The big man going out shooting has stretched the floor.
Yeah, I just think that when you watch how Kobe and Mike, how they worked on their game, Magic, and Magic and Bird, they always talk about every year they want to come back with something new to their game, right? And so from a fan standpoint, you just get you look forward to getting a better product from your superstar every year, whether it was Magic and Bird, whether it was Mike and Kobe. And so fans, that didn't translate over after Kobe left. And even before Kobe left, he said there is no strategy. Like, ain't no strategy. It's either a dunk or it's a 3-pointer. That's what Kobe's complaint was about the NBA.
Yeah.
There was no more strategy in the game.
Maybe that's what these guys are working on in the offseason, getting the 3.
I just know that they get ready to usher in a new
But I don't think
I just know this. I'm gonna get you a new shirt, Mike, that says "I hate LeBron."
No.
Get you a shirt.
You know what?
I'll go get it for you.
I like actually like as a like what LeBron stand for, like as a as a husband and a father and stuff like and things like that. I think his image is good, right?
You're giving us the Stephen A, Mike. You're giving us the Stephen A. Before he criticizes LeBron, he goes through his own accolades.
Because when you say that you don't like somebody, that's like
I know.
You know what I mean? So that's like personal. But personally, I think LeBron James probably a cool dude. Yeah. But I just think that like for basketball, I think like to be an ambassador to the sport, you know, you got to hold up your end of the bargain. Like people want to see you give your all, like, you know, and people appreciate that. Although sometimes it may not be fair for the athlete. Like for instance, like when we watch somebody like Earl Campbell play football and Bo Jackson, those guys, you know, it didn't end well for them as far as like their injuries and stuff like that. But we appreciated, like when we saw them on the field, we was like, yeah. And we wasn't capable of doing none of the things that those guys did, but we appreciate that. But I never got that vibe from LeBron that LeBron was like in it like what Mike and Kobe was. I just never got that.
You know what I'm gonna blame? I'm gonna blame LeBron on the media, and here's why. And it's the same old rhetoric and the same old talking points. When Mike was doing what he was doing, they made it be Michael Jordan's winning these titles. Michael Jordan is doing this. You got a kid in Akron being influenced by this. Now he's coming into a league with his own selfish motives, thinking that, and this is what killed me about LeBron. The other day he said when they lost, it's a team thing. You know, one man don't win it. But when they beat Golden State, they had the best record. He said, that's the moment when I realized it made me the greatest of all time. So when they won that, it was him. But then when they lost, his team. But anyway, you got a kid coming in now with this mentality of, you know, it's about me, my legacy, and you chasing this ghost. You chasing this thing when what made Michael the greatest of all time, I sent you guys that clip. Mm-hmm. What made him the greatest of all time was God. It ain't got nothing to do with titles or championships, but the media has everybody and their mother saying this person is the greatest because he got more chips. And that's bullshit. Now you got LeBron doing all this shit in the league, trying to manufacture this stuff because that's the narrative. So I blame LeBron on the media.
But it's the era. It's the era.
But the media created the era.
Exactly. In the 90s, there was no real social media as we know it today. Yeah. These athletes are products of their generations, and that the influences of the media are completely different. Yeah. And I think you're on the right. I agree with what you're saying, and it's just you can't. It's hard. It's hard for me to compare them apples to apples because they're dealing with things in completely different environments.
Yeah, that's true.
With an underneath it all, there's basketball. And we could talk about the basketball and how they played and how they've influenced the game and how they've succeeded in their eras. But when we talk about media, it's a completely different universe.
Mm-hmm. And let's not forget the fact that, like you said, the media builds these guys up. Like, in case of Michael Jordan became Michael Jordan as his gameplay proved who he was. Yeah. LeBron came in as King James. Yeah. He comes straight out of high school, straight into the NBA, and his nickname is King James. Okay. Yes. The media did that. So the only thing he can do now is try to live up to what the hype is. Okay. Whereas though, you know, if you don't have a hype around you and you build like Kobe, prime example. When Kobe got traded when he first came in the league on draft day, he got traded. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Kobe built to become Kobe, which makes him more relevant to us. Whereas Jordan did the same thing. He built and made himself relevant. Whereas though LeBron, he had to prove to us who he was because the media hyped him up so much to be the next coming of anything. You know what I'm saying?
Don't they do that to a lot of kids coming in?
Yeah. They do. They did.
Yeah,
Prime
but see,
example.
Not like
Remember the
LeBron.
dude, Harold
No.
Miner. Remember the dude, Harold Miner.
Yes,
As soon as
Baby
he got in the
Jordan.
league, Baby Jordan was his nickname. How do you live up to that hype?
Set up to fail.
yeah.
It's like you said, you set him up.
But let me say this, right? So now all of Mike's success in the league, though, like Mike caught the perfect storm too. Mike was a great ball player. Then you had the NBA who had room for growth, like on an international level. Then you had Nike who was coming in, and Nike had room for growth. So all three of those entities got.
Mike, you missed one. I gotta say this, and unfortunately, my man Len Bias passed away. Because you know Jordan and Len Bias now, you know them boys went at. So I don't know if we talking about the same Jordan if Len Bias is still in the league, baby. So go ahead. I'm sorry,
Len Bias would have came in on Boston with a team that was loaded. He wouldn't have had the same shooting freedom and everything else like Mike had. Mike came in on a team that he could play free and loose. Nothing was going to derail Michael Jordan. Nothing.
Can we start remembering his first 5 years, please?
I do remember it. I do remember. I'm not talking about championships, man. Nothing was going to derail this guy's greatness. It didn't. He came in as a rookie, and as a rookie, he was better than everybody.
Again, he wasn't better than
That's
everybody
simple.
because they didn't win nothing as a rookie.
Huh?
He better than everybody.
His team didn't win anything. Mike was better than everybody. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
dude, Mike was not better than everybody when he first came to the league.
He was
Mike couldn't beat Boston. Mike couldn't beat Boston. Mike couldn't beat the Knicks. Mike couldn't beat Detroit.
5 positions, bro. He was better than everybody. Every individual player in the league, Mike was better than them.
Hey, you say so. Okay.
He was.
I have missed this conversation for 2 weeks.
My God.
Hey. I just think like Mike, the NBA and Nike, all that combined at that time in the 80s, that just was the perfect storm. And for LeBron James or even Kobe, even Kobe to come behind Michael Jordan and thought that he could duplicate that storm when there was just room. It wasn't no more room for growth. So the only thing you could do as a ball player is just be the best you that you can be.
Yes.
Like Kobe, like Kobe just did what he could do. He could not take it unless you start playing basketball on other planets and introducing it to Martians and shit like that. It just wasn't going to happen because Mike had already done it. It's the same thing in music. When you think about Michael Jackson, like if you made a music video after he came out with Thriller, or when he came out with what was those other videos that once Michael Jackson started making those music videos, you couldn't top that. It was just he just bought it at the right time.
Right, but we keep talking about the generational thing, and
no, it was just
you guys understand. We if you talk to somebody that watched basketball in the 60s and the 70s, they will tell you hands down that Jordan was not the best.
They might have been. They might say that.
That's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. It's what you know with your generation. So LeBron is this generation's superstar.
Let me share this with you, man. Let me share this with you, man. Those guys are going to find a reason to say Mike wasn't the best because they have a bias and a connection to what they love. And they'll use championships. That's why the guy that said to you, Bill Russell eliminated all that shit he doing. Bill Russell didn't. Bill Russell wasn't scoring the ball at the clip Mike was scoring. Bill Russell wasn't taking a 300 basketball team to the playoff. Bill Russell was playing with Hall of Famers, and he was a rebounding and defensive machine. Mike came in the league with charisma, grace, style, playing both ends of the floor. You had a guard having more block shots than half the starting centers in the league. Stuff like Bill Russell wasn't doing what Mike did. Now he won more titles, but he didn't erase what Mike was doing. I'm just saying they find a reason to stay with their bias. So what they use is championships, but that's no metric. Now I'm going to say this, the difference between LeBron and Mike. Mike said something crucial. He said it was a perfect storm, but Michael Jordan never had that perfect storm in mind. That wasn't his agenda. His agenda wasn't to become this, that, and the other. Mike had one thing and one thing only on his mind. He was competitive and he loved basketball. He put it in his contract, love for the game clause. He loved competing and playing basketball. He wanted to beat the best. He wasn't thinking about marketing. He wasn't thinking about his legacy. He wasn't thinking about none of that shit. LeBron comes into the league. LeBron comes into the league. LeBron comes into the league with all that on his mind.
Stop for a minute. So you trying to say that Michael Jordan rookie year, when he signed that contract with Nike, he wasn't thinking about his legacy?
No, he was thinking about a shoot. This he wasn't thinking about his his mother got him to have ownership over the brand, but that was just the way to go. That was an endorsement deal. All players come in looking at endorsement deals the way to earn more money, but he wasn't thinking about being a all-time leading scorer, winning 7 championships, outdoing Bill. He wasn't thinking about none of that. He just wanted to be the best because he loved to compete.
Because every documentary Michael Jordan comes in and saying, "Look, when I step on the court, I feel as though I'm the best regardless." When he was in North Carolina, he said, "I knew I was the best. I told them I was the best. That's why I took the last."
Yes, but he's not thinking about expanding the NBA, growing the league, moving in the European markets, the corporate. He's not thinking about all that. He's just thinking about basketball and being the best.
So LeBron was. So you saying LeBron is doing the opposite of that?
LeBron came in with a business agenda. He came in with a business agenda. Yes.
And hold up. And I'm gonna piggyback for LeBron right now on that point.
Okay.
Because in the NBA right now, you ain't guaranteed nothing. So you get your money when you can get it. Okay. LeBron has made more money than Jordan has ever made in the NBA.
Okay.
Ever. Okay.
But I think Jordan is worth more money than anybody.
No. Listen,
if the reports are accurate. Yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying though. Jordan's big contract was with Nike when he first came into the league.
You're right.
Okay, so when you talking business, LeBron has to think business because that's what sports is.
Let me give you this, man. You don't have to think business. You know why? Because in this era, if you're the best in the sport and you have a big draw, money gonna take care of itself. People are going to be throwing deals at you. Michael Jordan became the richest athlete in the NBA history.
And hold up. Let me ask you a question. It wasn't because of his basketball skills.
But it wasn't because of his business acumen per se. He has a business mind. You know why it was? Because of his charisma. That shoe and his charisma.
Dude, Michael Jordan is right now one of the highest paid athletes, not because of the money he made from the NBA. Because the money he made outside of the NBA.
What I'm saying to you is he didn't come in with a business agenda. So you don't have to come in with a business agenda to evolve and to grow up as a business and a brand.
He didn't make a lot of money playing in the NBA.
I'm not saying he did. You're missing my point. My point is he is who he is now without coming into the NBA with a business agenda to be that.
Michael Jordan is what he is now because of his business agenda.
No, he didn't have one. He is who he is because of his basketball ability and his charisma.
No. There's been a lot of basketball people that's been good at basketball, but being broke outside of basketball. If you don't have that business mind, you gotta turn your you gotta turn your basketball money into stable money in the end of your career.
Let me make this simple. Let me make this simple for you. Michael Jordan's main focus was basketball. LeBron James' main focus is a business agenda.
And why would you say that?
And that's the difference.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Please
tell me why.
I'm gonna run you down his career. Every move LeBron James has made throughout his career has been business based. When you think about like when LeBron James, for instance, made some statements about that offended the Asian community, and so he had to retract those statements that he made about the Asian community because he do business with them as far as like merchandising and producing some of his merchandise over there. LeBron James moved to LA to further his to get further into the far as like entertainment and stuff like that for his career after basketball. So And also LeBron James is connected, whether he want to know it, admit it or not, he's connected with Clutch Sports Management, right? So that's an entity set up to further his business interests while he has while he's playing and then beyond his NBA career. Also, with that, like, look, I mean, I'm sorry, go ahead, Clayton.
No, you're good, Mike. And the number one point is this: when he came into the league, Maverick Carter, Rich Paul, all these guys around him, they set their business up. He came in with a business agenda.
So let me say this: Michael Jordan comes in the second year and signs a deal that nobody's ever signed with Nike. Signs this big deal with Nike that no other sports guys have ever done. That's not being business minded playing sports.
Michael Jordan's agent, David Falk, did that.
Michael Jordan, do you watch the movies? Michael Jordan's mother did that.
What I'm saying to you, Michael Jordan's mother she co-signed. She told him the terms of the deal. But David Falk, Michael Jordan signed with David Falk, the most powerful agent at that time. David Falk carved out those deals for him. I'm not saying Mike didn't have a business mind or acumen. I'm saying that was not his. I'm saying that was not his agenda.
What you said word for word. Exactly.
No,
you said Michael Jordan did not have the business mind when he came in the league. That's exactly what you said.
He didn't have that wasn't his focus and agenda.
Okay. Again, I don't understand what you guys are talking about because the whole thing, the reason you play basketball,
I understand.
When you a pro at all levels. Your money needs to work for you as a pro. There's so many pros that play basketball and be broke soon as they leave the business. Now, if LeBron is smart enough to figure that out,
we're not talking. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying the difference between them two and their basketball careers is because the focus was different.
Again, so LeBron gets the point up for that, then, right?
I'm not giving him no point up or point down. I'm just saying that's the difference between the two. That was my only statement.
And I think
Michael Jordan, if you realize it or not, Michael Jordan had a business mindset when he came out the league, just like every other superstar has a business mindset coming out the league. They know they're great to get that money. Now they got to figure out what to do with that money.
I think Michael came in at a time when he did always feel he was the best. He proved it with the shot in the NCAA championship game, where everyone's focusing on other players.
Where is
he? He's just this 18-year-old kid who had the belief, I got this. Dean Smith believed in him. He got the shot. He goes to Chicago, and they're working on the Nike deal. And to Mike's point, it's the perfect storm of the NBA, this kid and Nike, and what he had and what his team had was a belief that they were ready to bet on his greatness.
Yes.
He was always ready to bet on his greatness.
Yes.
And I think the era when in the 2000s, LeBron shows up, there's all this stuff baked into the system that he was prepared to learn from that previous generation and was going in with the mindset of, yeah, I'm great. I know I'm great, but now I know how to set things up and navigate this business. To your point, man, that he's got business acumen that he learned from previous generations who did it right and who did it wrong, and he made the system work for him.
Yes.
And I think you guys are kind of saying the same thing, but you're interpreting the other a little bit differently.
Yeah, I'm just saying that wasn't Mike's focus. Team around Mike, David Falk and those guys. Mike was focused on getting with the right people. He knew his greatness, but you said it, Jim. He was focused on his greatness, and the team around him bet and invested in his greatness. Yeah. And as Mike grew and matured as a man, he matured into the business role. But LeBron set everything up himself.
But hold on, let me ask you a question. The businesses that y'all just talked about, he set up. That's just the recent 10 years. LeBron has been in the league 20 years.
No,
This
that was
new management team's not that old.
Maverick Carter, all those guys, you know, that was the plan from day
From
one
the jump.
from
Yeah.
Maverick. But still, I'm saying that's not a bad thing, though,
Yeah,
man.
I'm not saying it's a bad
Not
thing,
a bad
man.
thing, though.
Hey, I'm not saying it's a bad. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I like it.
But I just think it just played out in the way he managed his career too. Because I mean, like Michael Jordan, he didn't like when in Chicago. Michael Jordan never tried to manage the team. Michael Jordan, he was a player, and he let you know the managers manage, and he just played. And so that was his style of best. You know, that was his style of you know how he went about things. He did not try to micromanage. And so when you try to micromanage, you try to coach the team and all that. So your focus gets it gets distorted.
Yes.
Your focus gets divided.
Yes. I mean, didn't try to coach the team?
Huh?
Did you say Michael Jordan didn't try to coach the team?
No, he didn't try to coach. Those guys in Chicago told Mike no on a regular basis.
I swear to God, Mike, if you don't stop this Michael Jordan love interest right now, yo. Michael Jordan was all in that team to the point where they brought Tony Kukoc in, and he came back. He wanted Tony Kukoc gone.
And they told him no.
That's Michael Jordan trying to coach the team.
Yeah, well, he tried, but Jerry Reinsdorf had no issues with telling Mike no. All right,
Mike always had, you could even, because they did an interview with Ron Harper. Ron Harper said that Michael used to always try to coach the team, especially in practices. Which made a lot of people hate Michael Jordan.
Look, man, Jerry Reinsdorf, if you take Jerry Reinsdorf and you take, what's her name, Jeannie Buss. Jeannie Buss will let LeBron James draft his son. But do you think that Marcus, like one of Michael Jordan's sons, could have played for the Bulls?
Dude, stop, yo. Come on.
Not at all.
You comparing him to Jeannie Buss?
Well, she run the team, and we're talking about the people who ran Chicago versus the people who ran.
Buss has never ran the Lakers. She's just the owner of the Lakers. She has never ran the Lakers.
Run the team. Well,
no,
I'm telling you,
the owners own the team.
And
just like Magic. Magic used to run the Lakers.
Magic ain't run no Lakers. Not when
Magic was the GM of the Lakers.
Huh?
Magic was the GM of the Lakers.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about as a player, Magic, you know, like Magic fell under Pat Riley's leadership.
No, but
Magic did get his first.
He got his first
head coach fired. He got his first head coach fired.
And Mike did the same thing.
I don't think Mike got him fired. I don't think Mike got him fired.
Mike was part of that. Yeah, all right.
You don't think Mike got it? Who was the first coach? Was it
Collins?
No,
it was
Kevin. It was Kevin. Kevin somebody, and then it was this other guy with curly hair. Then it was Doug Collins. Then it was Phil Jackson.
All right.
And those teams and those moves was made by the GM. It wasn't made by Michael.
So you think Michael had nothing to do with it?
Michael didn't even want that fucking triangle text winner shit. He didn't want that.
Yes. If y'all think that Michael Jordan ain't had no say on that joke on them Chicago teams about who they picking up and all that other stuff, micro coaching as a player, come on.
That LeBron James, he didn't want.
Phil Jackson didn't go to those guys. Phil Jackson asked those guys about Rodman and stuff. But if Mike would have had his way, Bill Cartwright wouldn't have never been on the Bulls.
Remember, Jordan didn't want Rodman.
That's not true.
Right.
It's in the documentary.
I don't think he wanted Rodman.
It's not in the truth. It's not true.
It's in the. Go back and watch the documentary.
It's not in the documentary. It's not in the documentary. Phil Jackson ran it past Scotty and Mike.
Yeah.
Mike said, as long as you gonna come in and help the team, let's do it.
Scotty didn't like Rodman at all, though, at first.
Yeah, but they wasn't against him coming. They was not against him coming.
Documentary.
They were against. 30, they wasn't even against.
Let's plug ESPN 30 for 30.
You can watch it on Netflix. Listen,
30.
Listen. They wasn't even against
Tony
Kukoc.
It said in the documentary, they both thought that Rodman was a bad influence on the team.
But you got.
And Jordan said in the document, as soon as he starts causing trouble, we gonna get rid of him.
Okay, that's different than not wanting them to come. Listen, they wasn't even against Tony Kukoc. Tony Kukoc. Let me. Can I explain? Sure. Tony Kukoc represented Jerry Krause. Mike and them was mad at Jerry Krause because he was praising Tony Kukoc and almost like forgetting about them. Like championships they won wasn't nothing. And Mike always felt like I'm the one guy Jerry Krause never drafted. And he felt he was more responsible for the title and stuff like that. So what Tony Kukoc represented was them going after Krause by going after him in the Olympics and stuff. But they wasn't saying, get him off the team, we want him on here. They just was going to make it hard for his ass.
So do you remember that they picked up Kukoc after Jordan retired the first time, right?
But they had him before he retired. He just didn't come over yet. They was romancing him and recruiting him while Jordan was still in his first
year
time.
was when Jordan went out. I don't know if they acquired it, they was talking to him or whatever.
Yeah,
Jordan came back. He did not like Tony Kukoc. He said he didn't like Tony Kukoc. Dude, you need to rewind 30 for 30.
You need to watch it. He said it in the Dream Team. He said it in the Dream Team. Listen, on the Dream Team documentary, he said it. Because Magic and them was like, man, I felt bad for Tony.
Not even on the Dream Team.
They played against them. Tony, let me finish.
Again,
Scotty and Mike, Barkley and them talked about it. Scotty and Mike and them was picking Kukoc up full court. They said, I felt bad for the guy. Mike explained it. He said, poor Tony. It wasn't really about Tony. It was about Jerry Krause. Here it is. We didn't want titles for you, and you romancing this guy. So when they played that team in the Dream Team, they smothered Kukoc. They just went at him. Right. So it wasn't that they was like didn't like him. It was more so about Jerry Krause.
But with your statement, they said he didn't like him because of Jerry Krause.
No, it wasn't about. Even Mike said it. He said it wasn't about Mike. Tony.
So why didn't they like Tony Kukoc?
He said Tony could have been a good guy, whatever. It wasn't about him. It was about Jerry Krause.
But they still didn't like Tony Kukoc, regardless of why they didn't like him.
It's not true. They didn't like. Mike had a thing against Jerry Krause, man. and Tony Kukoc caught the strays, bro. That's all.
Yeah, you really need to watch the 30 for 30.
No,
again, the whole documentary. The whole one. Not just episode 1 and episode 4. Watch them all the way through.
I'm going to put the clip in the group text so you can watch it. Just like that other clip when they said that play was never going to Worthy. Dean Smith, why was he putting it in that 18-year-old boy's hands? Because he knew he was the
exactly
greatest.
What I said. I know that. I watched the documentary. I know that. Everybody thought it was going to go to Worthy, but the play was designed to go to Jordan.
Yes. I'm going to send you the clip, though, about them talking about Tony Kukoc. I'm going to send it. I'm going to put it in the group text for you. Listen, my memory fading as I get old, but when it comes to Mike Jordan shit.
so let me just ask you.
I'm like an elephant out there.
So what you're saying is, Michael Jordan never disliked Tony Kukoc.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
He had a problem with Jerry Krause.
I know he had a problem with Jerry Krause. Everybody knows he has a problem with Jerry Krause.
Yep.
Everybody knows that.
That's it. Yeah. I missed you, man.
I missed this too.
I missed you, bro.
This is live podcast television, baby. You gotta be good. Gotta come with the rain, man.
Well, I had a nice little break. I appreciate the stimulation, man. I'm good on that.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Hey, what time them games stuff? First game is at 3, right?
3:30. Yeah, how many games is it? It's just one game today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one. Yeah.
It's the one game.
Yeah.
And the winner
I think the NBA is gonna spread this shit out as much as possible. They're gonna try to get as many ratings as possible now.
Hey man, who you got winning it all?
I hate to say it, gentlemen, but I think OKC, man.
Yeah.
I think OKC.
Okay.
I think them boys is playing on all cylinders, and it doesn't matter who, I just don't see nobody stopping them boys right now, man.
I haven't looked, but I think Vegas is probably giving them the odds.
Yeah. So I just, man, like I said, they playing just everybody's playing solid basketball.
Yes.
Well, I just think their young speed and athleticism is just.
I cannot overstate how the quality of these playoffs are. I haven't seen it since before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just and I like I said it at the beginning of the podcast. The ref swallowing the whistle has been the best thing for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I'm anxious to see how the NBA, goes forward with these, because now none of their superstars are in there now. So I'm seeing how they, go to create the narrative that makes the average person want to be like tuning in and be like, okay, yeah, this is what we want to see.
I'm with. I want to see Clayton's.
yeah.
The Knicks, Minnesota.
Yes.
That has some drama to it with the trade. Yeah.
The NBA's biggest superstar is still in it, Ant-Man.
And I like the story of the Knicks getting back to the final.
Yes.
I mean, when they showed Walt Frazier, one of my boyhood heroes, on when they showed him courtside, man, that place went nuts. I was like, man, there's Clyde. He's sitting there with his wife cheering on the Knicks, man.
I'm telling you, man.
But see, Jim, did you see the narrative that brought forth to make you like, oh, I'm excited about it? That's what I was talking about. The old school players like Selfish LeBron, Steph Curry. Just go to the games now that you're not in it no more. Go to the games and show the fans that you're still excited about the game now.
Yes.
That's how you move superstars along and marketing your next successor. You know what I'm saying?
LeBron can't win in that situation. I'm going to tell you why. Because if he show up, the fans and the media, everybody's going to make it like, oh, he's just trying to get attention. He's trying to make it be about him. He's trying to disrupt what's going on. I think he's better just staying away and letting what's happening happen on his own. Because anytime LeBron do something, they think LeBron's trying to make the story and the narrative be about him.
You're like ulterior motive or something.
Yeah, the damn media, man. The damn media. Mike, I blame you for it, Mike. We're gonna blame you, Mike. We're gonna blame you, baby. The damn media does that. That man can't go and enjoy a playoff game that he's no longer in anymore because the media, aka Mike, just gonna change the narrative.
I guarantee you, he show up for one of them games, the camera's gonna be on him, and you're gonna have them people on Twitter and everywhere else. LeBron trying to make it be about him. So he got to chill out for a while.
Yeah, but it just when you see that type of environment in the games, especially in that Knicks game, it just brings back like, oh yeah, I'm interested in that. That's what the NBA needs right now. They need to keep that up, man. They need to keep that moving and everything.
It's dope. Yeah, it's dope. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I got 15% left, gentlemen. I ain't did this in a long time. Talk to my battery run out.
Yeah.
Appreciate you bring a little excitement, just a little, not much, but just a little excitement.
What'd you say, man?
I said I just bring a little excitement, not much, but just a little bit. You? Yeah, man, just a little bit. Just
man, you bring a ton of excitement, man. Yeah, you controversy. You walking controversy, baby.
Hey, I just say this, as long as I don't talk about Jordan, Jordan LeBron fires me up though every time, man.
I know.
That's just, I love the narrative and I love talking about it because you can win on either end. You know what I'm saying? You got great conversation for LeBron. You got great conversation for Jordan. You can win on either end. You know what I really like to talk about is that Kobe Bryant, that middle part. You know what I'm saying? That's what we don't really get into a lot of. Where does Kobe fit into this narrative that we keep talking about Jordan and LeBron,
Number two.
We were talking about it. I mean, not we, but people were talking about it 20 years ago in the same way. Yeah.
Yep.
But you're right. That's a discussion for another day.
And Kobe, and it's a shame. Yeah. It's a shame that Kobe ain't even being mentioned. I don't put LeBron over Kobe, and it's a shame.
No. You're right. Yeah. To me, I think, like I said, I love Jordan. I like LeBron, but to me, Kobe's game was more. I just love watching Kobe play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because Jordan, he was dominant, and you knew he was dominant. So everything he did, you expected it. But Kobe just brought a finesse to the game to me that I love. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you're right about that, Clayton. Kobe's number 2. You just got to figure out the rest of it. For me anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'll say this to Douglas Perry, because he wants to know who the meek guy in the corner is, and when E-Man and Clayton get to going on a subject, I get out of the way.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Did I read something somebody said I talk too much? Was that one of the narratives somebody said?
Never. Hey, E-Man, never read the comments.
I know.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if you need somebody to hate on this sports podcast right now, I'm the guy. I'm that guy right
Listen,
now.
man.
Everything. I don't think it was a criticism, though.
Yeah, everything is energy, man.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what you say. Everything is energy. When you bring energy to something, you're bringing life to it, man.
You're right. I like I said, we bring energy all the time, man. We try not to make it cookie cutter like all the other podcasts and all the other TV shows. That just cookie cutter everything, and you got to give the political correct opinion. Being on an urban channel, man, we don't have to be politically correct. We can say what we want and keep it moving.
As long as you're able to support your stance, you know what I mean? That's what I don't appreciate with some people. Like, they'll just throw something out there, and you're like, well, why do you feel that way? And they can't, just because. That's a little bit different.
But fellas, I'm signing off, man.
All right.
Y'all have a good weekend.
I apologize for missing the beginning part of the thing, but I'm glad I did come in, man.
Yeah.
I love you, man.
Yeah. And I'll talk to y'all later. I'm gonna put that in the group text, man. Look out.
All right. Next week, gentlemen. Next week.
Later.
We'll see you guys.
Appreciate everybody who tuned in. I want to thank everybody who participated in the chat. Time. Let me see. Douglas Perry. There's a few people in here. Who else? Everybody who participated in the chat. Everybody who watched the channel, please make sure to like and subscribe. Check us out on Saturdays and Sundays when we go live and we talk about sports. Saturdays, we go live at 1 p.m. Sunday, we go live at 11 a.m. And so with that being said, like I said, don't forget to leave a comment, and we will check y'all out next weekend. Peace.